Quite a number of years ago now, I had the good fortune of spending time with the teacher who taught me meditation and the art of yoga, whose name was Swami Rama. We lived in an ashram in Nepal, just outside of Kathmandu, about 22 kilometers. There, I spent 2 or nearly 3 months learning from him, but also just devoted to my own practice. And during that time, we had an unusual event one weekend. It was the weekend of Shivratri, a weekend in February. 2 couples were arriving from India that day, and Swami Rama asked what he should teach. He had ideas about what he wanted to teach, and those ideas centered around a practice called Yoga Nidra, and especially the practice exercise without movement. I really didn't have any idea what that practice was, and I knew that he held it in special esteem. He taught it as something taught in the cave monasteries in the mountains, an unusual practice to be taught anywhere else than that. So, gradually we all settled into a room, these 2 couples and 2 of us, myself and 1 other person, and he began to teach. What essentially he said was that Yoga Nidra is a practice taught to help students master sleep. It also is a way to engage the autonomic nervous system and to gain control of that system, and a method for reducing internal tensions of all kinds. He especially recommended this for people as they are getting older in life, because it takes care of many of the illnesses and diseases which occur in old age. So it became clear that this was not simply a casual weekend, teaching something that would be curious but otherwise not very valuable. This was a practice that really meant something to him, and it's come to mean something to me as well. The practice of Yoga Nidra can be translated yogic, sleep with awareness. The purpose of Yoga Nidra is to shift consciously from one state of consciousness to another, from waking to dreaming to sleeping. And the practice really, as it's originally taught, has 5 steps. Some light movements are the beginning. It's always useful to move, stretching the shoulders and arms, stretching, twisting the back, or moving the hips and legs. It's useful because we collect tension all day long, and in relieving that tension by movement, we open the doorway for more subtle practices inside. So the first step is to do some light movements. Gradually, the next stage is to lie down on the floor, just like this model is doing, where we'll do some much more subtle internal work called exercise without movement. The exercise without movement practices are based on the idea that you signal your body to move from your brain. An impulse is sent down a nerve, and that nerve ends in the soles of the feet or in the fingers, in the back of the low back or in the chest. We're really observing how it is that through our mind and brain we control the body. The exercise without movement practice is a practice that makes use of this principle, but does it through tension relaxation exercises. So, for example, working with the legs, the right leg might be rolled so that the kneecap faces the ceiling. The toes are pointed away, and gradually you begin to create tension from the foot, through the ankle, the calf, and the knee, through the thigh to the hip joint. Hold the tension for exactly the same amount of time that it took you to produce it. Then release the tension from the foot, ankle, calf, knee, thigh, and hip joint. Let the leg turn to the side, relax and breathe. Now the mind changes sides. It shifts from the right to the left. The left leg turns toward the center. The kneecap points toward the ceiling, the foot is pointed away. You create tension in the foot, ankle, calf, the knee, thigh, and hip joint. It's important during this time to keep the breath relaxed and to relax other parts of the body. Then relax the foot, ankle, calf, knee, thigh, and hip. Let the leg turn out, and relax your lower limbs. After a number of repetitions of this practice, now both legs are rolled toward the center. The knees face the ceiling, toes point, and create tension through the feet, ankles, calves, knees, thighs, and hip joints. The lower body is held, the upper body relaxed, breath is smooth, and the face is relaxed. Relax the feet, ankles, calves, knees, thighs, and hip joints. The legs are completely relaxed. Exercise without movement continues with a series of exercises for the whole body. Let me show you one more. This exercise is the exercise done with the arms. The palms are opened and fingers placed against one another. The thumb is alongside the palm and the palm is flat. The arm is rolled open from the shoulder joint, and so now the tension is created from the fingers, palm, wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, and shoulder. Tension is held in the arm while the legs and the other arm are relaxed. Breath is smooth and the face relaxed. Relax the palm, wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, and soften the arm. Again, the mind shifts from right to left. The left palm opens and the practice is completed once more on the left side, creating tension through the fingers, palm, wrist, the lower arm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder. Hold the tension, feel the breath, and then relax. Fingers, palm, wrist, lower arm, elbow, upper arm, and shoulder. Just as we did with the legs, after a number of repetitions in the arms, we'll do both arms together. And so both arms roll open, create a flatness in the palm, thumb is next to it. Tense the fingers, palms, wrists, lower arms, elbows, upper arms, shoulders. The face is relaxed, the breath is smooth and deep, the legs are relaxed. Relax the fingers, palms, wrists, lower arms, elbows, upper arms, and shoulders. This gives you just a taste. It's not the whole practice, but it does give you a taste, the sense that it's possible to shift the mind from place to place in the body, to develop awareness of how the mind is capable of doing that shifting, to create tension and then relax that tension within the body, and yet at the same time to remain completely isolated and relaxed in other parts of the body. It's a very remarkable series, and these form important parts of it. It continues with exercises for the abdominal organs, for the low back, for the entire spinal column, and then in the whole abdominal cavity from the pubic bones all the way up to the base of the rib cage. All of these practices lead us to the next step in Yoga Nidra. So if the first step is movement, the second step is exercise without movement, the third step is to relax. And the relaxations are taught very systematically. First, 61 points, called shavayatra. Second, 75 breaths, called shitili, karana. These two relaxation exercises are done following the tension exercises, and they make it possible to relax extremely deeply. The next step is to roll to one side and then the other, feeling the breath through one nostril and through one side of the body. Finally, the actual Yoga Nidra practice, letting awareness travel from the eyebrow center down to the heart, where you instruct your mind and body to sleep. Remember that the phrase Yoga Nidra means yogic sleep. So your mind and body are instructed to sleep, and even instructed to sleep for a certain length of time. In this case, 5 to 10 minutes is a good starting time. You ask your mind to awaken you after that 10-minute stretch of sleep. But during that 10 minutes, you deeply let your mind and body sleep with just the merest awareness of breathing in order to observe yourself. Light stretching movements, exercise without movement, relaxation exercises that take you deep within yourself, breathing practices that alert you to the breaths in the right and the left sides of your body, right nostril and left nostril. And finally, a deep practice of conscious sleep. These are the stages in Yoga Nidra as it's classically taught. I feel privileged to have learned this practice from my teacher, Swami Rama, and also to have the opportunity to teach it in weekend seminars. Very soon, we'll be making it available on yogainternational.com website as part of digital membership. So one way or another, I do hope that you have the opportunity to give this practice a try. You'll find it takes you within yourself, deeply within yourself, and satisfies a very great need to understand the relationships between consciousness, mind, and body.